This show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for certain audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised. A friendly reminder, Mary Jane edibles are not a substitute for actually paying your Lyft driver. Don't forget to tip your bartenders, you filthy fucking animals. And if you've got kinks, we've got links. Don't forget to subscribe, put on your seatbelt, and enjoy the ride.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Thespian Talk. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian. With me this week is Scolipendra.
Hello, I remembered to turn my shit on this time.
And we also have Michelle.
Hello, I too have made sure everything is turned on.
Yes.
Gomer, have you made sure everything is turned on?
Yes, I have. And that does tie into why we didn't have one last week. We got together, we recorded like a whole 90 plus minute episode. We get to the end. I go to save and everything, and I notice because I record using OBS, so you can mute and unmute different channels. Turns out that my channel, the one that actually records me, was muted the entire time. Cue everybody just
Yeah. Pretty much.
And we didn't really have much of a chance to try again because just different things happened and all that. But we're here, and so
I'll be honest, I was just grumpy about it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Just but yeah, so there is a mix of what we had last week, what we were supposed to have last week, with a little bit of this week, and it should be good. Oh lordy me. So we are recording this on the first day of September, and the fucking assholes out there have put out a challenge, a new challenge, and it's called No Simp September, where supposedly you're not allowed to simp for any being on this earth, although the screen cap I got of it typed it to being as an O-M instead of O-N. Including fictional characters for the entire month. Like, what defines simping anyway? Like,
I was about to ask.
like,
You know what? I think it's just a synonym for white knight, basically.
Oh, so basically, if you stand up for somebody, everybody will assume that you're just trying to get in their pants.
Maybe.
Though, I have kind of seen a bunch of people, mostly leftists, using it as a synonym for a nice guy with quotes.
Oh, one of those assholes.
Yeah, apparently a bunch of people trying to, I don't know. Like, if you're just being really nice to someone, and you're actually just trying to get into their pants.
Yeah. And then the minute they don't, you suddenly become an asshole.
So, I'm confused. If from what we can work out, the definitions of simp are kind of negative, then surely No Simp September is actually a good-ish thing?
I think the connotations behind it, because like with a lot of different things, it gets used in situations where it doesn't. Like, let's say, for example, that, Becky posts something on Twitter, like some new artwork, some new fan art or whatever. And I not only retweet it, but I also, on Twitter itself, say, oh my God, this is so awesome, I love you, that sort of thing, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
People could say, oh, you're just simping. It's like, no, that's my girlfriend, you idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, and it would be similar with other artists or people that I care about, whether or not I'm dating them. Because I do it with Mel a lot too, and while Mel and I are not dating, I will still like today she posted an evolution set because she did like a evolution set of Perlers.
Cool.
She posted that on Instagram. And I just did like the happy Umbreon noises because Umbreon is my favorite Pokemon. And because of that, somebody would be like, oh, you're just simping for her. And it's like, dude, I'm appreciating the art. And I like the art, and she does a good job. She is also a good friend of mine. So,
bitch.
Yeah. So I think they try and There are a lot of things, and I think it's born out of some sort of toxic masculinity.
God, yeah.
To where it's like if a guy is treating a girl nice, the only reason is to get in her pants, and not because he's a decent human being or actually likes what he's doing or what have you. Like, just because I treat a woman nice or give her positive feedback doesn't mean I'm trying to fuck her. Whether I want to or not is a different story, but that doesn't mean I can. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, for those who are new, my tastes are wide, but just because I want to doesn't mean I'm going to, and doesn't mean I can. So, there's a difference between desire and acting on it. And and some people don't get that. I was like, you want to fuck her, so that must be the only motivation for talking to her. No, it's not. I can separate the two. How about you, buddy? Can you separate it? Can you? I dare you.
Okay, Dory.
Yeah. I'm going to say this out there to any toxic man who may or may not be listening to this. If you cannot separate your sexual desire from, talking to anybody of your preferred sexual, and a lot of these guys will be women. So if you cannot talk to a woman without trying to angle to try and get into her pants, you're a wuss. You're weak.
Yeah.
You are weak sauce. And it's no wonder that you don't have a girlfriend, and probably haven't had a girlfriend in all 35 years of your life. Just weak sauce motherfuckers.
You should have said 37, because even Jesus got laid by 36.
This is true. Wait, didn't Jesus die at 33 though?
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, he still got laid. He probably got laid at least once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Jesus died a virgin. And now you're gonna have all these fundamentals be like, I was like, I don't even believe in your religion. Shut the fuck up. And even if I did, it wouldn't matter. So we got laid. Oh well.
I mean, I don't say I necessarily believe in the biblical Jesus, but I think, going on the way, what I understand about myths and legends in general, there could have been a dude back there in Galilee at the time saying, hey dude, chill out, be awesome, help each other. And then that gathered a movement. Charismatic people gather people around them.
Yeah. It happens.
So, and I think if Jesus, Joshua, or whatever Galilean dude at the appropriate time were to be brought forward today, I think they'd be really grossed out.
Yeah. He'd look around and be like, what the fuck y'all doing? Oh, they want us to wear masks. Well, did they say why they want you to wear masks? It's because some virus. I don't believe it's real. Like, dude, you literally have people who spend their lives studying shit like this. I think you should listen to them.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, Herman Cain didn't believe the virus was real. Look what happened to him.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, he died.
Yeah.
Someone was telling me about, I didn't hear about it, my mate was talking to me on the train, well, like, we was leaving the train. Because apparently in the UK now, you can get official exemption cards.
No.
There was a lady walking down the train, just checking while she was looking at it, then carried on. And there was a young man who I think didn't have a mask on. However, he also, we have what's called sunflower lanyards. They're a scheme that some supermarkets do, that if you're wearing one of these lanyards, the staff know that you have an invisible disability, and then they can give you the appropriate assistance.
Right.
Which is really cool. And he had the lanyard and didn't have a mask, so maybe whatever his disability is making him exempt. So yeah, I haven't looked into it, but apparently, yes, in England now, you can get an actual official card or certificate or something that says, I am actually medically exempt from needing to wear a mask. Please respect that.
Oh.
Which means that they actually, presumably if you haven't got that card, you can say, no, put your bloody mask on. Or call your doctor and get the card. Make the effort.
Yeah. Don't just go around and use that as an excuse to not wear a mask without.
Oh no,
that
they're
proof,
not. They wouldn't be.
like
Darling,
British,
British people.
No, yeah. I'm saying not your. Let me do a clarify here. Not for the people you're talking about. I'm thinking more people over here who have tried making like fake ones. Because my doctor says this, or when really that's not really a thing, or my religion says this, and no, fuck you. You don't get to use your religion just so you can walk around without a mask and potentially infect other people with a deadly disease, Karen. You don't get to do that.
That prompted the conversation, like the lady going down the line. Basically, apparently there was a protest thing in London with people gathering saying they all think it's fake and a conspiracy. And I'm just like, bitch, are they saying Tom Hanks is a liar? You don't call Tom Hanks a liar.
No. And it's like, and I do understand that there are, obviously there are legitimate issues. It seems rare that there are issues with like wearing a mask, like breathing issues or what have you. But again, like I just said, they're rare.
I get hot. My nose is sore at the moment, so I've got like an actual little cut in my nose, which when my mask is pressing on it doesn't help. Yeah. But you know what? I suck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do. It's like, whatever. I mean, and admittedly, one of like I got 3 masks from Mel. One of them is a bit snug sometimes, but I'd rather it be too snug, and it's pretty much all cloth, so it's not like anything's cutting into me. So
yeah.
But I'd rather it be too snug than too loose.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not one of the ones I can really adjust. So, but the trade-off is it's easier to put on and take off. So it's like it's a trade-off here, and that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. I wear them all. It's like some days I wear the ones that you can adjust. Some days I don't. So it's whatever. But I don't have enough breathing issues to the point to where I can have to say, "Hey, look, doc says I can't do it." And again, like I said, I'm going to reiterate, it's rare. It's just all there is to it. Because most people, even asthmatics, can wear it and be fine.
Yeah.
So you have little to no excuses, and I'm talking specifically to the Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have no excuse to not wear a mask, and it's not worth it to go without your mask to march on governor's mansions, city halls, whatever, to protest having to wear a mask. And motherfuckers, if I see any motherfuckers going after my dad, who, by the way, is the mayor of my town, and he has said, hey, you know what, maybe we should wear masks. If I see any one of you local motherfuckers coming at him about whether or not you think you should be able to wear a mask, you should be able to go without a mask, I will personally come out there and tell you wear a mask, otherwise you're going to get the COVID and die. And you can spread that to other people. So, or even better, like this. Wear your damn mask, because I don't want to catch COVID from your crusty ass.
Yeah.
You want cheap masks? Let me know. And hey, I'm friends with a mask maker. I'm pretty sure she and I can work out something. Pretty sure. Just saying.
Yep.
And you get fun designs too. So.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we got so quickly into that I didn't even ask. How have y'all been the past couple of weeks?
Who are you starting with?
We'll start with you.
Okay. Hello. Not too bad. Mostly pretty chill. I've been doing my still been doing the ring fit, still doing my Spanish. Had my dad's birthday party the other week, which I've already talked about. It went well. It's a short version.
Cool.
If it comes up, I might go into the whole thing about my mum being a gatekeeper again, but it's not appropriate right now. Yeah. No, I told you last week, but it's if you want to edit it in, feel free. But yeah, so that's. But I have I know, Gomi, you've probably seen it on the Thorn Bush. Scully hasn't seen it yet, so I'll show him the pictures. I have a new friend. He's so soft and squishy.
Ah, yes.
Hang on, my phone's gone to screen lock.
Oh,
but yeah,
no.
generally, otherwise, no, it's fine. I like it locked. But yes, generally speaking, I've been reasonably happy, healthy, and well. So not too much to complain about. And just pop the pictures. If Discord lets me pop the pictures into the green room, because it's gone. Have you noticed that? Like, it's gone weird. Like, you try to upload a picture and like you're just getting links.
Yeah, that is weird. Like, I think even in, like, my own server, Lacey tried posting a few pictures. I think it was my server. Either there or on the actual Thespian Talk server. Might have been. Yeah, it was this server where Lacey tried to post a few pictures and they just came up as links, and all it is basically her little anime and game figures and Wonder Woman, which is all really cute. So Discord, why do you do this?
I don't know, but basically what I'm showing the boys now is my new rhino. He's called Squidgeburai, which is basically Squidgy Butt Rhino. Squidgeburai. I don't say it out loud very often. I need to practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's my squidgy. He's my squidgy butt. He's so cute. I got him from work. I work at Hamley's. I paid for him. He's legit. This is how squidgy he is, Scully. Look how deep his butt is.
No.
Yeah, he's about 2 foot. He's very round and fat. He's got very short, dumpy legs. I actually kept seeing him on the shelf, and like the first time I saw him, I was like, "Oh, squidgy butt!" And then I thought, "How much is it? How much is it actually?" And it was like £25, which is about $30. That's actually a really good price for the size and the quality. And then through a bunch of discounts, I got him a couple of minifigs and some, basically just from folder clips, but the pot's got a llama on it. I'll show you a picture of that as well. And it all went, with stacking offers, it went from £43 to £27. So yeah, I got, basically it was the rhino and then a whole bunch of free stuff.
Nice.
Well, when you work out, yeah.
Well, yeah.
So that's my week. I got a new friend.
Hey! How about you, Scully?
Oh, my week's been alright. I'm gonna, start exercising every day. See if that does me any good.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
I have honestly been kind of, there's the part of me that wants to and knows I really probably should, but I also live in Florida. And I do not live very close to a place like a Planet Fitness or some other easily accessible gym that is not part of a college. So my only other option is basically walk around outside or jump around in the house. And we have an open foundation. Yeah. And I weigh over 300 pounds. Things shake.
Yeah.
Although on the other side, if things are shaking in a very rhythmic manner, you know what I'm doing. Speaking of such things, kind of.
This house rocking, don't come a knocking.
Exactly. So, speaking of similar things, in our usual nightly group last night, we've been binging on these Tumblr binge compilation videos lately, and one of the posts, I think it was a shower thought post or something, but somebody said, you know what, it's really lucky that we only itch on the outside,
Oh God.
which caused Rosa to kind of go a little at the moment, and me thinking, being a little bit of a gadfly troll for a moment, I said, I could make it worse. I didn't get a chance to make it worse because right after that, Rosa said, I will reach through the screen and slap you with my dick. I broke. Everybody else broke. And then we moved on. It was actually a pretty good moment.
Oh God.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I told Becky what it was later, and she was like, "Yeah." she understood.
The question is, do we want to know? Scully, do you want to know?
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'm okay with hearing it.
Well, I will tell you guys, and I will tell the audience how I could have made it worse is, if you ever had an itch right inside your asshole,
Yes.
That's how you can get an itch inside.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah. Although,
You know, it's
although
It's
I could also
relatable.
say the back of the throat too. Now that I think about it,
that's
Yeah.
horrible.
that is horrible. It's like you need all sorts of pudding and ice cream for that.
Because without getting too unnecessary graphic, a good butt scratch is quite satisfying. You can't scratch your throat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. That is all very true.
Yep.
That is speaking of other things that could be coming on to TMI. Very unfortunate wording considering what's coming up. So we all have heard about everything coming out about Jerry Falwell Jr. He has been the head of he has been the head of Liberty University. Turns out he has a cuck fetish, which in and of itself not a bad thing. That's fine, whatever. You know, if you're into it and everybody else is fine with it, whatever. I don't care. Where people, of course, have a problem with it is the fact that he's the head of Liberty University, where they follow the strictest sexual guidelines that Christianity has to offer. You know, the whole, no sex before marriage, you can't do this, blah, 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 blah. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to have a thing like that, practice it yourself.
Again, do we know historically that the people of that time would have been that pious?
Well, see, here's the thing. It's not of, well, okay, we're talking Christian times. Probably not. Not as pious as we like to think, because Romans were involved.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. But there's more. There is
God.
more.
Oh, boy.
So, also comes to find out, and, well, we'll have to, if I'm wrong, please double check me. But, from what I'm understanding, his wife is a little bit rapey, if not an actual rapist. It's come out that they would use their son's friends, use their son to get his friends to, like, come and stay the night or whatever. And whenever they would, Mrs. Falwell would walk in and she would try and seduce them. There's one telling where he woke up and suddenly there she is trying to get in his pants and is like, no, what the fuck? And I don't know if this part is a joke or if that actually happened, but then there's like Falwell himself over in the corner, ready to go and that sort of thing, just to watch. I don't know I don't know if that part is just a joke or if that's true, but but it seems like, yeah, like, dude, no. Like I don't know what his wife looks like. I'm pretty sure she's kind of attractive, and that's fine. You can go out and get dick wherever you want, probably, But where it comes into the whole rapey territory is the fact that these are students at this college. No.
So just to clarify, they would at least be over 18. I'm not saying that the seductions, that she shouldn't be doing that, but they are actually adults.
Yeah, they are adults, which is like one of the few cases of at the time. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But it's still wrong because they're still
Oh,
students. There's that power imbalance.
Absolutely.
Now, if they weren't students, and especially if they were willing and fully cognizant of everything going on, that would be one thing. We would not be having this conversation, except for the fact that they would be hypocrites. Hypocrisy aside, there wouldn't be a conversation if it wasn't for the power imbalance. And it brings to mind another thing too, because protests have been going on over 90 days in Portland alone. By the way, still going on.
Yeah.
And just recently, like within the past week, they had those right-wing groups like the Proud Boys and things like that. They're coming in to try and stir up their shit because apparently the cops aren't doing it enough for their tastes. Well, of course the cops aren't doing it enough for their taste because they believe they drank the Flavor Aid and now they think, oh shit, the cops are still the good guys, even though it has been demonstrated time and time again, the cops are escalating. The cops are the ones firing, tear gas and other chemical warfare weapons into crowds of peaceful protesters, injuring them, damaging them. I don't think any of them have died yet, at least not directly. I'm not sure. But they're still causing harm. But, apparently, and hey, these far right groups, they're egged on by Trump. Trump is egging them on, which means
Yep.
Trump is egging on domestic terrorism. So that's what it is. That's what you fascists do. So and so they go in and they're and shots were fired. One of the Proud Boys side, for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to refer to them as that. But one on the Proud Boys side was killed. Now, on the one hand, part of me is like, you know what, good, fuck them. But on the other hand, and this shows the difference between the sides, in Portland right now. One of the Black Lives Matter protesters came over, and she was going to try and help the dude. He hadn't died yet.
Oh, this.
Yeah. She was going to try and help him. She's like, dude, you're down. Let me at least help you, man. Maybe you'll learn your lesson. But dude didn't get a chance to learn his lesson because the cops came in, knocked her away, knocked her equipment away, and let the dude die out and bleed out on the street.
Good God.
So let it be known that the Black Lives Matter protesters tried to help one of the quote-unquote enemy, quote-unquote, big quotes, but the cops were like, no. So the cops allowed a man to die. The Portland Police Bureau officers, I think, allowed a man to die because reasons. So, the death is on their hands. Regardless who fired the shot that ended up killing the dude. I've heard it was friendly fire. I heard it was somewhere else. It's likely friendly fire because most of the time the Black Lives Matter protesters aren't armed with guns.
Yeah.
So it's easy to make that leap. So, yeah. And speaking of which, the mayor of Portland, Ted Wheeler, he went on TV, I think, a day or two ago, and he said all of this, like, he denounced the fuck out of Trump. I don't know his exact words. All I know is what he did. I don't care to know his exact words because, and it has been proven the past couple of nights, that his words are hollow. Because not only is he the mayor, he is also the police chief. And guess what the cops have been doing the past couple of nights? Escalating shit with violence. And in fact, the Proud Boys got an escort into downtown Portland. They don't attack the Proud Boys. They're attacking the not anti-Black Lives Matter, but the Black Lives Matter protesters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We know what side Wheeler and his cops are on. We know this.
Yeah.
We're not stupid. That's why I saw other people cheering, like, yeah, tell it to Trump. I'm like, you realize his words are probably empty as fuck, right? You realize he's only saying that so Trump doesn't come in and butt in on his action. And I was right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be right, but I'm right.
Yeah.
And that leads into our meme topics. So, several weeks ago, we started on this. There's this list of meme. I call it meme topics. This is one you can see out on the social media. You get one like, you give one opinion, and most people, they start from the top, they go to the bottom. Well, we started from the bottom of 64, and we've been doing 4 a week, and we'll keep doing that until it's done. And this week, since we were just talking about it, our first one is fascism. Fuck the fash.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck fascists.
Beat the shit out of fascists. Yeah. Are you saying are you calling for violence against people? Yes, I am, because they're fascists. Because if we don't, they will. And they will do worse than we do. History has shown it time and time again. That if you let fascism get too far, people die in great numbers. Trump is... how many genocides is Trump committing at this point? Because you still have the brown people in cages, family separation, that's... add that to the virus that's killing off lots of people that really probably could survive it, if not for his influence. So that's at least 2 genocides right there.
Yeah.
So fascism is no good. It is no good. but they want it because it brings certain people power. That's all Trump and his cronies want. They want power, and they want to have it for nobody else. And bear in mind, they're still part of the same generation who wants that power. Because these are fucking baby boomers, by and large. Because Trump is, what, in his 70s? And I know Pence isn't too far behind. So they, they're like late boomer, early Gen X at this point. At least I think it's Gen X right after boomers, isn't it?
Yes.
No, I think... Is it?
Okay.
It is.
Okay, so late boomer, early Gen X, basically. That's and they want it by any means necessary. And they want all of our money. Never mind the fact that they get their money from us by providing goods and services to us. I think I saw somebody in a video or on Twitter or somewhere say that there's no supply and demand. It's just, it's something different. Because they don't want, they want our money, but they don't want us, but they want more money than we have. Which, by the way, the day we're recording this, I hadn't seen much around it today on social media because there's a bunch of other things going around too, both important and just fucking silly. Today is supposed to be just, a general strike. Don't buy anything, don't go to work. I don't know how many people are abiding by that or how much traction it got, but hey, you know what? Whatever. Does that include podcasts? Isn't this work? Well, yes, it is, but it doesn't benefit the man. It benefits us. So it benefits the greater people. So and if you want podcasts that shouldn't be working because it does benefit the man, well, look at your average right-wing podcast host. They shouldn't be working because they're toxic as shit. And they fall in, and they amplify fascism. Hi, Ben Shapiro. Go fuck yourself, or better yet, learn how to fuck your wife. I still feel bad for Dr. Shapiro.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
was it you posted that meme like if black guys ain't so scary, why does my wife's pussy always cry?
I might have. Somebody might. I know somebody did. I don't remember who though, but
yeah,
that would be his thought process. Yeah, and we dunk on him because, well, I mean, he does deserve it because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know who's not a piece of shit? Michelle, you're not a piece of shit. What do you have to? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, just fascism sucks. Don't give power to people who want it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the expression. I don't know how practical that actually is, but I didn't learn from history. Today I found out that I haven't watched yet. That actually I probably should, and it's how World War II is taught in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's probably quite an interesting watch. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to link it. I think it's, those things usually are. And I think everyone should watch it.
Yeah.
Presumably, going based on what I've seen on others of that series. Because if Germany can teach the bad things that they did... Oh, and by the way, I saw a video. I don't know how much of this... okay, so the video was on the... manifesto, the RNC plan for the election, like the Trump's promises.
Yeah.
And it was all bully pointed, and he went over some. And the one thing, because TLDR is hosted by some British guys.
Right.
And one of the things that came up was like, and Trump wants to teach American exceptionalism in school. We're not touching that one, but have fun in the comments.
Yeah, because whenever there's some
isn't
sort of
that leading to fascism?
Yeah, it's like isn't that how we got Nazi Germany?
Yeah,
that German exceptionalism.
Learn your history, pay attention to it. Screw fascism because it's not actually good ultimately in the end.
No.
Yeah, just don't do it, kids.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of a tweet I've seen going around. A dude took a screen cap of some a spam text he got, and I'm gonna read it verbatim here. It's Kim from Working America. COVID has shown CEOs get richer even when the rest of us are going broke. What do you think is the best way to change that? Now, I'm sure most of us are thinking, okay, well, maybe I say most, maybe not. Some of us are thinking, okay, tax the rich more, tax them at like 80, 90, maybe 95, 99% rate. You don't want to do 100 because, you want them to have some money. We're not assholes here. Well, I mean, we are. We're not that big of assholes, though. But, that sort of thing. Or put policies in place to heavily fine companies that don't pay their workers a living wage, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this guy's answer, guillotines. That's his answer, just guillotines. I'm opting you out of text immediately. Have a great day.
Wow.
What? I realize she probably professionally has to do that. I'm hoping just in the back of her mind she's like, damn straight, buddy. But of course you can't say that professionally in that position. But
yeah,
I understand, but still kind of a wuss move. But
yeah.
But yeah, Scully, your thoughts on this whole thing, like fascism in general.
Man, punch your local fascist today.
Yay! So, all right, our next one up is femboys. They exist. All right.
Yeah.
They make my brain a little confused because wait, you look like a cute girl, but you're a guy, and I'm not really into guys. But but I can also separate. I'm also comfortable enough to separate. Like, okay, looks great. You do look cute, but other than that, the equipment is not powering up for you, if I may. But but you know what, you do you. Whatever. You ain't hurting me. You ain't hurting anybody else. And if somebody tries to come at you for it, and I happen to be there to stop it, I will at least make an attempt.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how well I could fight against somebody else. But I will, you're a femboy. All right, cool.
Yeah.
You do you. That's all there is to it. Scully?
I mean, I've seen some that, look kind of cute. They're not exactly my type, but I've seen some that look kind of cute.
Yeah.
So, you know what, if they're happy being a femboy, then more power to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle?
Fine if it's a personal identifier, not so fine if someone's using it to insult them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is also a thing I did not even think about. Yeah. But I think a lot
Really?
of
Because
it...
I'm sure we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, our next one up then is fake freckles. My first question is... First one is, why is this even on the thing? Like, who cares? So your freckles are fake sometimes? Oh well, I just don't get it. I mean, maybe somebody with a lot of freckles are like, they're like, oh, you're just trying to fit in or some sort of appropriation, but that's the most I can imagine of it at the moment. But otherwise it's like, not hurting anybody. You're not doing anything illegal or wrong. All right. It looks cute sometimes. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna guess that y'all are kind of on the same boat on that.
Yeah,
do you?
Whatever.
It's a bit weird. I
Yeah.
don't get it, but
Yeah, it's one of those why is it on this list? But here's
because
one.
it's a thing.
Apparently,
It's
yeah.
because it's a thing, but then it's like, but why is it a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Donald Trump. Why are you existing?
Yeah.
So yeah, and our last one is cultural appropriation. Oh dear.
Oh, boy.
So,
Strap in, kids.
yeah, the idea of cultural appropriation, and it's mostly white people pulling it off. Although just by law of averages, other cultures can do it too. But it's usually white people just taking like a look or a thing and just making it to a point to where it's they're doing it but not respectfully, if that makes sense. Now there are some cultures out there like Japan, when they see like other cultures like doing their thing and trying to mimic what they do, their traditions or whatever. A lot of them are like, hey, cool, spread the word, man. It's cool. I don't know the Japanese phrase for it, and I'm not even going to attempt it, but it's cool. Hey, cool. Just understand everything and be respectful with it, and I think I see a lot of it coming, the cultural appropriation being leveled at specifically white people from
other white people.
Well, the white people are pulling the blame on it, but they do it when they do things from specifically like Native American cultures, Mexican cultures, black people cultures, African and otherwise, things like that there. And especially when it comes to like natives and black people in this country, especially considering the fact that white people have been, we genocided a bunch of them, we stole other ones. It's understandable why it's a bit of a touchy thing, because let's take black people for example. As Amy Schumer once said, we stole black people. Okay, we stole them from Africa, brought them on over here, and forced them to live over here, and didn't give them a chance for their cultures to really flourish much, so they had to keep it alive themselves. And then all of a sudden, we who have already stolen so much from them, hey, we like that. We're gonna do it too. And then the white people make it even bigger. Don't even really give credit to the black people. Think that's where cultural appropriation comes into play. So, and that's why people get testy when like white Karen over here is going out with like dreadlocks or what have you, because the main assumption is that if a white person is doing it, they don't have any understanding or they don't care. And whether that is fair or not, we can blame it on our ancestors. So it's just they're seeing it as more theft. And of course, for fellow white people, another bit of advice: let the people of color call out the cultural appropriation, please. Let them do it.
Yeah.
It's not our place. All right. As much as we would want to, and I understand the desire, I understand the urge, but if it reminds me of the time on Tumblr where this one user got really upset over this Peter Pan cosplay, not because of Peter Pan, but because somebody also cosplayed his shadow to a very, very accurate degree, where like the entire body was literally the color black.
Wow.
Including the face.
Nice.
That sounds kind of neat.
That is. Yep. But this dude, who is white, was like, what the fuck? This is blackface on the shadow. It's like, no, dude. And I even tried to correct him, like, dude, no. That is literally not blackface. And every black person I saw who said a thing about it agreed. It's like, no, that's not blackface, you idiot. Because blackface is a very specific thing. It is a caricature of black people. Noted by things like, say, the big red lips, or that's the most recognizable thing, really, is the big red lips and the white person trying to be a black person, as in an African American person or an African British person or what have you. So you. That was not what was happening there. But no, he was so ingrained. He was digging so deep into that. I was like, dude, is this a hill you want to die on? like there's a difference between actual blackface and somebody being painted up to look like a shadow.
Yeah.
So white guys, do not be that dude. Take a moment, know your history. And if it's something that, if you think it's something that black people would have a problem with, maybe listen to the black people first. Same goes for natives, for Mexicans, for Japanese, Chinese, whoever. Listen to the people you think would be offended the most by it. All right?
Yeah.
that before you say anything, if they don't seem to have a problem with it, by and large, leave it be. That's all there is to it. Especially if you go off and you have those very people say, no, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, yeah. So I think we talked, we did mention this on the obviously on the episode that we wasn't able to put up. And
Yeah.
I feel like that my brain between that week is kind of enlightened itself a little bit more on this. It's
Fair enough.
Because I feel like my answer was a bit different last week, but
I
sort
think
of
it
the
might
same.
have been, yeah.
Yeah, same area, but different output. If that makes any sense.
Different details.
Yeah. So, for white people in particular, I wouldn't do it unless I know for a fact that it would be okay as long as you are respectful. That's the key term, respectful.
Yeah.
That's why Japanese people don't have a problem if you're white and you're doing it, as long as you're being respectful. You're not doing it as sort of a thing or what have you. You're enjoying their culture, and they like that. And let me tell you something. If cultures never mashed or whatever, we wouldn't have a lot of the shit we have today. Hell, anime. We wouldn't have anime we do today if the animation styles of Walt Disney didn't get picked up by artists over in Japan. So you can thank Disney for anime, and you can thank that cultural merging for anime. Just you can just that's where it goes. So mixing of cultures, yes. Appropriation, that's honestly overall probably still a little bit more gray than what I've been putting out here, but I would say err on the side of caution, especially you white people. Does that mean I can't? Well, I mean, you can, but if you look like an asshole, that's not my fault.
If you have to ask, the answer is probably no.
Yeah. Can I say the N-word in New York City? You
You
could.
can.
But as we discussed when we brought it up. Yeah. As we discussed when we brought it up on the last one of these we did, you could, but you have consequences. Good, have fun getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
If you want to say the N-word in the middle of any populace that is mostly black-coloured people, by all means, that is your right. All I ask is you call me first so I can film it.
Yes. Oh. So yeah. that bit of a thing done. Michelle, what do you have to say about this?
Well, as I pointed out last week, and I still can't remember the video I saw it in, but basically all of that, some people were saying, oh, but this young woman is like dressing up all Japanese and everything, and she's like stealing, culture appropriating. Yeah, she's actually native Japanese, because not all Japanese people look like you think Japanese people look like. A lot of them are white, and if Kat were here, she'd probably confirm.
Yeah.
But academically, as far as I know and am aware, and this is going on the video I watched, the actual definition originally is you have thing that we need for scientific humanitarian progress. We need thing, please may we have thing. They say, no, you can't have thing, this land's sacred. And then they go take it anyway.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to benefit humanity or not, you don't steal people's stuff. You work it out. You sit around the table. If you have to sit around the table for another 5 years, or it takes longer to find the cure that this thing provides, yeah, that sucks. But you still got to respect people.
Yeah. Because in instances like that, you're still, no matter what society you're in, you're always going to have the older people who are resistant to the change. It's always been this way. Why we shouldn't have to change it? Da 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 da. You're always going to have that. And it's up to the younger folks to say, hey, look, we tried to teach you this lesson, old man, but now you need to step back. And that's what interestingly enough, that's what we should be doing in the government too. Way too many old people in government. They should be retired. Just get them out.
Yeah.
You reach a certain age, you get out. It can be 60. We might make some leeway for that.
Yeah.
But if you get up to the regular retirement age to begin with, which I think is 65, you don't even do government. You're retired. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So, most of our politicians would be out of office.
Yeah.
Although unfortunately some would still be behind fucking DeSantis.
Yeah.
Though on the flip side, that does mean that, like, the actual good ones like Bernie would go.
Yeah, but that would be a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, good point.
you can't pick favorites. Which
I can.
Well, you can, but it wouldn't be legally good.
Yeah.
Not necessarily illegal, but not necessarily good either.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Scully? Your thoughts on the cultural appropriation and all of that?
I think you all pretty much have it covered. I mean, there is a line between appreciation and appropriation. I think it's just best to listen to the people from that culture.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. So with that, I
was going to say, that goes both ways, because if the people from that culture are saying, dude, chill out, listen to them.
Yeah.
Listen to that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we sort of clock out, I actually had a question about something that's been coming up a lot, and I think it's more for the front half than the second half.
Right.
So, I don't normally do this, but trigger warning. Why, and this is with the caveat that I'm obviously, all of us here, I can assume, are not approving of this particular act.
Okay.
But why has pedophilia and people going against paedophiles seems to be like a really big surge of it at the moment? Again, I agree with it in principle, but it does seem to be like everything is like, but this is happening. I'll give you for example. I saw someone, an anti-masker, because of course they are, conservative, because of course they are, it's basically going on about, you can't wear masks because blah 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 this, and this is doing bad things, and this is that, and this is that. And when kids wear masks, they can be easily kidnapped and taken into slavery. And like, the two don't correlate. I'm with you on protecting children.
Yeah.
Where are you getting the mask conspiracy from? Part of me thought it could be from QAnon. Yeah, I was going to say, partly it could be QAnon, but it don't seem to tally. I'm seeing it from people who wasn't necessarily seeing as being QAnon people.
Yeah, I think...
Now, again...
Oh, go ahead.
Again, I stress, nobody here is pro-pedophilia. And, hey, any paedophiles listening to this... 1, why? 2, fuck off. 3, you're a paedophile, not a fucking map. That is either a way of looking at geography, or some kind of animation program. I can't remember what the acronym is.
Yeah, multi-animator project.
Yeah.
There you go. It is not whatever. I'm not even going to repeat what they say. Well, okay, it's minor attracted person. That is not a thing. I'm going to say this as well, because I try to be rational. If you are someone who has recognized this in yourself and has never acted on it and has actively sought help, excellent, good for you, well done. That's noble. For the rest of you fuckers who act on it, even if it's just looking at a picture one time, it's still not good, my dude.
Yeah.
No.
And another... Sorry. I was looking at this video about QAnon in general and saying about the pedophile ring. And some of the names in it... again, Tom Hanks was in the list. But you know who wasn't in the list? Epstein. Trump. Fucking people who have been convicted of pedophilia. Because they're not part of the QAnon conspiracy.
Of course.
Catholic priests were not part of the...
But
yeah.
Can't see me right now, but I am doing that frickin' thinking emoji meme.
Yeah.
I said.
And I have seen a lot of people going like, protect our children, and yes, fine, I am for that. But this whole idea of this surge of pedophilia or even ephebophilia, I don't think it's as big as we think it is.
Yes.
And if I'm wrong, then oh my God, horrible. But I don't think I am.
So
this is one of those things I do not want to be proven wrong on. You know?
No.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of steamrolled over you, Michelle.
No, that thing. Who was it posted? Was it Rosen that posted this morning about the California?
Oh yeah, that was actually last night. He posted it. Last night
I saw it this
for
morning.
us.
My time.
Yeah, last night for us here.
So, yay! Short version. Apparently, California has passed some kind of law or some kind of amendment to a law saying that if you are sexually active with someone 10 years you're younger, you don't have to register as a sex offender. And then people say, well, that means like an 18-year-old could get with an 8-year-old and then nothing happens to them. And then people down the thread were like, actually read the damn thing. And I will say, I can't remember whoever posted it, someone else pointed out, said actually this is the thing. And then so I sort of said, hang on, there's further context in the thread if you look at the comments.
Mm-hmm.
I would still say, and I said this at the time, and I did say I'd probably bring it up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 to 8, yes, fuck off with that shit.
Yeah.
24 to 14 is still skeezy as hell, but please stop calling it pedophilia, because that's an emotive term, and it's a completely different... Ephebophilia, pedophilia... Pedophilia is literally prepubescent.
Yeah.
14-year-olds, although they don't necessarily know their own mind, and I can only speak to my education. By 11, 12, I was learning about the birds of the bees. I was learning... We watched the video where you see the baby developing in the womb. It's very cute. We were getting the idea, like, the man puts the his pieces in the woman's areas, and, the things happen.
Yeah.
And it was actually a lot more... It was actually quite medical. It was quite, like... So, from my point of view, at that age, before I got to 14, I knew about the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yes... for me, I started discovering attractions at 11, 12, 13. My first Hollywood crush was Michael J. Fox. I've gone through a few sort of different... I still like him, obviously, but there are a few other actors I've sort of done. I always say that, certain other actors were more of my sexual awakening. So yes, by that age, I can only speak to the female experience, people are becoming attracted to other people, and a lot of times those people will be older than them because of hero worship, because of actors, singers, sports stars, whoever they look up to. There's going to be that kind of primitive, for want of a better term, attraction.
Yeah. As
they're learning and growing and developing. Mm-hmm. So, yes, the younger person might actually say, "Oh, you're older than me and you're handsome and I like you, and you're showing me attention." It is still the onus on the adult to be the responsible party. Say, no, you're still a kid.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if it's the person, the actual original tweet person, not anyone in our group,
right,
kind of got ripped a new one because they actually called it a pro-pedophilia law.
Yeah. And
when you actually get to the roots, it isn't.
Yeah, I think...
that's what I get. That's what I get in the way. It's using emotive language.
Yeah, I think what it is kind of meant to do is for, I think like somebody else, and I think even you mentioned it, was the bill is for ages 14 and up, which is still like
still skeezy.
Yeah, still skeezy, still ephebophilia, but it's in. I see it being used in cases like okay, my a friend of mine, she is like a month and some days younger than me, and let's say we started dating in high school, for sake of argument, I would turn 18 before she would.
Yeah.
So if she and if we decided, hey, you know what, 18th birthday, on our birthdays we'll give each other birthday boink, because hey, why not? And we did that, and either her mother, her father, her grandmother, if for whatever reason, they had it out for me. It's a small town. It can happen. And they were like, oh, wait, she was 17 when you did this? And you were 18? Oh, wee-oo. Yeah. I think that's where this is trying to go, because while the legality is because you're within that same time frame, you're not like it's not like somebody who's like 26 banging a 14-year-old. You're not having that kind of a situation, but at the same time, it is still technically somebody who's legally an adult and somebody who's still legally a minor. But if and say I had been convicted under something like that, with the way this is worded, the way it seems to be, I would not have to register to be a sex offender because,
See, putting it like that actually makes it make more sense.
Yeah.
Because, as I understand your statutory laws, yes, technically that would come under statutory because one is the adult, one is a minor.
Yeah.
Under every law, pretty much every country. I don't know of any country that doesn't have. I know some cultures, like I know, like after the bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, you're supposed to be considered an adult under Jewish law, but they still respect the local law. Yeah. That's just a cultural thing. Yeah. So, assuming that pretty much every country has 18 as adult. Yeah, technically an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old would fall foul of your statutory laws.
Yeah, although I will also say for the sake of clarity, because I want to make sure I nip this before somebody else brings it up. Yes, in Florida, especially at the time it would have happened, which would have been 2000, the legal age of consent was 16. So at that point, we literally would not have been in trouble, but we all use 18 as the standard point. Because I'm trying to head off of nitpickers here.
Yeah.
So.
But to answer my own point and possibly open up another question, the reason why people are, and again, I'm not saying I disagree with them. I do disagree with some of their methodology and their arguments, but the heart, the reasoning, fair enough. Your heart's in the right place, even if your head isn't. I think it's a distraction. I don't know if they're distracting from the virus or BLM or the election or what, but I think they're just trying to create something else somewhere else to get people talking about the thing that they shouldn't. Again, I don't want to say that people shouldn't be talking about pedophilia because it is a problem, and children being abused under any circumstance, be it physical, sexual, or mental, or whatever. That shit's not cool, and none of us approve of it.
Right.
But unless it's happening on your doorstep and you're in a position to do something about it, if you want to make a post saying, oh, here's a thing I heard about, or there's this thing I saw about, and sharing that. But to suddenly make it a campaign, to make it your hill, there's something else going on.
Yeah. Like focus on it, but not at the expense of everything else.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you are a victim of such things and you want to make that your focus, by all means, do it. Because
I don't think survivors would be acting this way, though.
I don't think they would either. But I mean, like in terms of like crusading or bringing awareness or things like that, more power to them. In fact, I welcome it. Do it. It shows a little bit of strength to saying, hey, you've reached a point to where you can do this. Good on you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Scully, do you have any thoughts? We've been talking a lot.
Not really. I mean, I think it probably is a distraction. I don't really think the rates of pedophilia have really changed. I just think that social media and stuff just makes it easier to bring that kind of thing into the limelight.
Yeah.
So
do you think sorry?
Also, that law. I mean, I sort of get it, but same time, I think that let's say a 24-year-old does stuff with a 16-year-old. Yeah, that is creep. I think that he should have to register as a sex offender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that maybe if it was changed to 5 instead of 10, I'd be okay with it. But yeah.
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 Because it's like within, because 5 years is still enough of a similarity.
Yeah.
But still skeezy. But but
Do you agree?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, it's fine. I was kind of cutting you off.
Okay.
Do either of you agree on my appraisal that it seems to be more recently, or have I just gone to some weird corners of the web?
It does seem to be a bit more, because despite what everything Facebook is being responsible for, I'm still on there. So I do see it pop up from time to time, and I also see somebody popping up with what looks to be like less than genuine rebuttals to certain topics, but it's not that has nothing to do with pedophilia. So
Yeah.
but just I've seen it pop up, and it's like I agree, but nobody, pedophiles are not trying to take over the government. Some of them are already in there, or they're not trying to take it over.
And I'm fairly certain Oprah's not one.
Yeah.
I'm definitely certain Tom Hanks isn't one. And if he is, I'll think everyone will be heartbroken.
Yeah.
So I sincerely believe that Tom Hanks is not.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So with that, we are going to go ahead and take our break, and when we come back, we are going to have the news. So stick around. Hey folks, we'll get back to the show in a moment, but first I want to tell you about Patreon. Patreon is what I use to get around all of the YouTube adpocalypse bullshit, and while I don't have a lot right now, every little bit does help. And if you like what you hear or what you see on any of my videos or podcasts, head on over there. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of these things early before anybody else does, and you can get them completely ad-free. Yeah, I know YouTube right now is technically ad-free, but at some point, I'm probably going to get big enough to where ads will start coming in, and those can be annoying, so you want to avoid that, right? If you go ahead and go now over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX, leave $1, $5, doesn't matter how much, you can get all of these. Again, you can get them early, and you get them without ads, even when I reach the point on YouTube to where ads can be put on these videos. So it's a win-win. And you can even avoid the ads that go up on the Anchor versions that go out to all of the other websites that are out there. No ads. It's great. So that's patreon.com/Gomer21XX. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to this little segment of the show where I just blab on for a few minutes. I may have mentioned in a previous episode that I am looking to restart /start some extra podcasts to give me a little bit more to do. Just for things to put out there. One of which I don't remember if I explained it before, but it's a kind of a reimagining of the internet show that I did way while back, where I looked at theatrical movies, as in like think of movies like Hairspray, Grease, etc. And I'm starting to feel around for some people who might want to jump in on it. I don't know if I'm going to have, more than one static co-host, because I would like people to hop in based on their specialties or what have you. Like, for example, Becky is, she would be a good one to have on for the Christploitation movies, because she'll watch things like that, and, not for anything like, oh, it's a good movie. No, she watches it and I watch it with her, pretty much to snark and rage at it. So, we're kind of media masochists like that. Also, I've been watching General Hospital lately, so I want to eventually bring back the Port Charlie podcast. We can work with, when we first brought it up, we had Namia with us, and, she was somebody who was just fresh into the thing, and then there was me who had a little bit more experience with it, so, a dynamic like that wouldn't be too bad. If they're interested in getting into it. And then probably one or two others I could probably figure out later on, but we'll leave it to these for now. But yeah, some things I wish we had been able to some things I wish we had been able to cover. We forgot to cover Chadwick Boseman. He passed away from colon cancer. For those who don't know, if you're listening to this in the future and you're wondering who is he was, at least in my universe, I knew him as the actor who played Black Panther in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now he has a lot more. I mean, he's got bigger roles and even better roles than that. But that's how I remember him. And the thing is, he was battling cancer. He passed from colon cancer. He was battling that while filming no less than 7 movies, which to me is just like, holy shit, that is really impressive. So yeah, I mean, and if you're gonna be one of those people, be like, well, Chadwick Boseman did 7 movies while he had colon cancer. What about you? Shut the fuck up. Not everybody can be him. So what he was able to do, and be able to hide it and keep it private, so other people can be happy and share that joy that they have for seeing somebody who looks like him in a major role and get all of these acclaims. Yeah, that's amazing. What he did is no short of amazing. But if you can't, that's okay. It has to be okay. So, he was very admirable. Not gonna lie. That's a universal truth in this segment. Very universal truth. But yeah, he'll be missed. Definitely more by people who knew him more for his works, and definitely his family and friends. But yeah, man, just that's a hell of a blow. And we didn't even get into what's her name? The lady who did the OnlyFans thing, and made them $1 million, and then suckered a bunch of people into giving her money for supposed nudes, and then didn't deliver on it, and so everybody wanted the refund, in which caused OnlyFans to go, oh hey, wait, maybe we should change some policies here. And then her apology later is like, I just wanted no. Even if you didn't know what you were doing, you could have at least looked around and maybe asked first. But you just jumped right in. You did the thing. And I want to say her name is Bella Thorne, I think it is. Yeah, up until that point, everybody was like, it's Bella Thorne, you asshole. But yeah, and just, the best thing she could do would be to refund the money directly out of her pocket. She can afford it. She ain't Poe. She's a rich fucker who got in there. I was like, oh, I want to do this, and well, here we are. Look, if you're rich and you want to, okay, here's my stance on this. No matter what amount of money you have, if you want to put out nudes, put them out. Do it. If you want to get paid for them, put them out to get paid for them. Get yourself an OnlyFans. I've mentioned on the show at least once before, I've got one, and mine are behind a paywall. You want to see me? If you're that desperate. Or if you're Becky. Becky doesn't even have to pay. What am I saying? But, if you want to see, give me some money. Unless you're really, really close to me. In which case, well, you can get them for free. But that doesn't apply to 97% of you. So, yeah. Pay for your porn. And support your local sex worker. Because they work just as hard as everybody else. So, yeah. With that, those are a couple of things that we did miss in the main show. I wanted to at least mention in here, and also the podcast announcements. I'll be looking out for things. I'll probably try and put more feelers out there on social media as the days go on. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the show. See ya. And we are back from our break, and I swear I think that first half took at least an hour.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's okay.
Oh God, yeah.
So before we get into our news, I do have some good stuff to share. So,
yay!
So over the last week, I've been looking around for like our local world markets, and local for me, since I'm in a rural area, means any city within like a 50 to 100 mile radius. So, so there's one in Panama City Beach, and they don't have lambic. For those who don't know, lambic is my favorite alcoholic drink. Doesn't get me drunk. I don't even think it really gets me buzzed, but it tastes pretty good. So that's pretty much the only beer I drink. So they didn't have it in Panama City Beach. I noticed they have one in Tallahassee. And this particular one is like 80-something miles one way. No biggie. So I go over there. The good news is there is lambic. I bought like 4 bottles worth. Haven't drank any yet because I haven't had much of an occasion to, but also I can't find my bottle opener.
Oh no!
My bottle opener and corkscrew. Because it's one of those. But it's probably around somewhere. But anyway, so with it being as far away, I have to get on the interstate. And I'm driving along, and I'm in the fast lane to begin with. I'm like doing like 75 to 80 or what have you. I think it was like 80 miles an hour, which you're already 10 over the speed limit. So, but then I have this asshole. I think I put it in Rosen's venting channel. This asshole sandwich decided, you know what? I'm in such a hurry. I'm gonna ride some ass. And then, because I was passing somebody at the time. It's like, okay, I'm going to pass. I'm going to get back over. And I went to turn on my blinker. When my blinker was turned on and I started to move, dude started to try and move over there behind me. I'm like, dude, no. And I got so pissed off at him for just being that unsafe. I just rolled down my window, flipped him off as he went by. And then he tried to keep pace with me, presumably to flip me off back or do something, but I just kept my eyes straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will admit, I was tempted to brake check, but you don't want to do that at 80 miles an hour, no matter what vehicle you're driving.
No.
Just...
You reminded me of something Aaron tweeted. Give me a second, I'll go find it.
But yeah, there was also one in the trucker subreddit. I may have put it in my iHeels one. No, I did not. At least not the one I'm thinking of. But there was one was like, trucks were driving later at night or whatever. And some other vehicle came in from the opposite direction and kind of, spooked one of the guys who was there, and he twisted and he jackknifed a bit. And the truck that was filming, with the dash cam and everything, ran into it. And the last thing you see in that video is a bright white light. I don't remember if everybody was okay, though. That's the sad thing. It's like, oh no. And that is why you play it safe on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, but...
There you go. There's the thing Aaron posted.
But, okay. So the comic that was posted is from the LGBT meme subreddit. And his comic, dude's like, let's settle this in a drag race. Said this to another dude. They get in their cars, revving up. They look at each other, and they're looking fabulous. With the wigs and everything. And it's like, yeah, wigs, makeup.
Perfect.
Now that is a drag race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to, and before we go to Florida, I do want to note that we are recording this before this particular week's episode of What the Fuck Is Wrong With You. Normally Nash does it on Monday nights, but he pushed it back for a night. And so this will come out, well, this comes out after each week anyway. But this is one of those where it comes out before he's had a chance to do the thing. Usually it's the other way around. He has the thing, and then then we see if we have any that match up. But now it's the other way around. Anyway, so if any stories on here, if you watch What the Fuck Is Wrong With You, if any of the news stories on here also show up on there, take a shot.
Woo!
But something like this will probably show up. I'm calling it now. Out of Indian River Country in Florida. A man was arrested on a weapons charge, and he really stepped in it after deputies apparently accused him of pooping marijuana, according to affidavits. Or something like that. That is not my commentary, that is what is in the article. The alleged case of the Dastardly Defecator, began to drop about 10:40 p.m. August 17th in Indian River Country. Deputy arrested 29-year-old man on a possession of a firearm by a convicted felon charge and took him to jail. The man was a passenger in his sport utility vehicle where the deputy reported finding a .40 caliber pistol. Less than 4 hours later, the same deputy was notified by jail staff who discovered an unknown object in the man's stomach. They were going to take the man to the hospital to get it checked out. The man said he ate a bag of pot as the deputy approached the vehicle. I asked the man why he would eat the bag filled with marijuana, an affidavit states. The man stated he did not want me to find the bag. I mean, at least he's honest. Evidently, he did not try to brown-nose the deputy. Several hours later, the man reportedly moved his bowels, and there was a small plastic bag. The bag was, quote-unquote, covered in poop, also known as feces,
You think?
according to the report. In the bag was what investigators believed to be marijuana. Man was arrested on additional charges of possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana, tampering with evidence, and introduction of contraband into a detention facility. It's unclear whether an administrative logjam slowed the process of booking the man into jail or if he rolled right in. So, some of the wordings, goddamn. And you know they did it on purpose.
Dastardly Defecator is the name of my metal band.
I also think it's our title.
Oh, you know what? I think it will be too. Dastardly Defecator. Unless we find something better. I don't think we will. It's like, okay, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, how do you poop it out that fast? That's what I wonder. Because they said they found it in his stomach, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he had coffee.
Maybe. But just, wow. Like, just come right out and say it. You pretty much said it right at the front, just not as crude as I would say it. He shat pot. That's the story right there. He shat pot, which you know is technically illegal to have in Florida, but you know I still have some of that legal stuff that I bought in Illinois back in February. I've only got 2 tarts left, but and
Party at Gomers.
Yeah, and I think each one is like 2 milligrams per tart, so.
Yeah.
So it may not be it might not be over that limit anyway. I don't know, but also I don't care because fuck your anti-marijuana laws. Fuck 'em. Yeah. But as for this guy who had the boop, you know, okay, having the firearm by a convicted felon, that definitely very justifiable, very much so, because if you're a convicted felon, you probably don't want to have a dangerous weapon, depending on the felony. You know, like if you're put in prison for having drugs or, in a lot of cases, pot, you know, odds are you're not going to go blow somebody away with a .40 caliber. You're likely not going to.
No.
I would also err on the side of caution because of how we treat criminals in this country, even after they get out of prison.
Yeah.
Because that could drive you to desperation. But you know, I don't. You know, the dude having pot. I think a lot of it would be like, you know what? If pot was just pot in all of its forms were legal and regulated like they do in places like Illinois or Colorado or Oregon, it would be a lot better. But you know, conservatives are scared. Either scared of losing control of people over it, or if it's a big business, because the reason why things like pot got illegalized was because certain businesses couldn't stand the competition, and they were fucking wusses. That's what they were, and so that's why that's why we had, you know, but we need another thing like fucking, you know, we've been having things like fucking 20s when Prohibition happened over here. You know, where do you think the mob came from? People wanted it. The police are like, no, fuck you. Mob's like, no, fuck you, pigs. Here you go, guys. You know, helping people. And yeah, it got dangerous because of course it does. Because police ain't going to help you if somebody decides to be a dick and just try and fuck you over. Police ain't going to do shit. Not if you're doing something that the police have deemed illegal. Yeah. Which explains why the Portland Police Bureau didn't help that one guy who was gunned down. You know, in Portland the other night, or more specific, well, that and pushed away the other person because, according to them, that person was illegally there, so they shouldn't have been there. You know, even though they could have saved that life. Yeah. You know, just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, the article itself, though, holy shit! How many ways can we make puns out of shit? It's a shitty article.
It is.
Yeah. Actually, the article is well written with a lot of wordplay. I just want to make fun of it. Scully, we'll start with you. What do you got anything to add on this one?
What a waste of weed.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, after you pooped it out, I mean, if your weed got all poopy, then no.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully it was in a plastic bag, but still.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but still, the poop was on the bag.
Yeah. Michelle?
I don't think I have thoughts. This is just a weird story. Like, just toss it or say, oh, by the way, I've got some weed on me.
Yeah.
There are better ways of hiding things.
Yeah, just some things you can hide up your bum. That's fine, whatever, but, I wouldn't let weed be one of them.
No. I mean, I suppose if you're going to swallow any drug, weed's probably the most innocuous one, like the one that's going to cause you least damage if the bag splits or anything, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Also, speaking...
I'm happy to be corrected.
Yeah. Also, speaking of things up the bum, another thing we learned from last night's Tumblr binges and all of that, a buttload of dildos is one dildo.
Not according to some of the videos I've seen. What?
Oh.
Yeah. So speaking of cops and speaking of cops being pigs, this one's out of New Jersey. A New Jersey 18-year-old has been billed nearly $2,500 in police overtime costs after she organized a Black Lives Matter rally in her town over affordable housing. By the way, I hope she never pays it. Because I wouldn't. I would say no, fuck you. Because you do not get to put a cost on my right to organize a protest. You do not.
Yep.
And if you try, you will not get paid. You will have to pay more. We will make you pay more to try and even attempt to get that money and make all the other taxpayers really pissed off at you. But we'll continue on here. New Jersey Advanced Media first reported seeing the woman, Emily Gill, who said she got the bill earlier this month from Englewood Cliffs Mayor Mario M. Kranjak. Sounds almost like Cracker Jack. For $2,499.26. Really? You are 74 cents down from 2,500. Just make it a round number, you fucking... Ugh. And it's for the police overtime caused by your protest. Gill said she held the protest because city has dodged affordable housing requirements for 40 plus years and calling it unacceptable. Which a little thing later on, the mayor, I think it was the mayor who said everyone is welcome in Englewood's Cliffs, which everyone may be welcome, but here's the thing: if people can't afford to live in a certain place, it doesn't matter how friendly the citizens are. You can't afford to live there. You can't afford to live there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So according to the report, she received a letter alongside her bill that says because she did not meet with city officials before holding the protest. That's not the point of a protest. The point of a protest is to say, hey, we are going to inconvenience you, Mr. Mayor, because your policies are shit and are inconveniencing us. We do not protest and practice our rights on your whims. They're called rights for a reason. So, they had to, because she didn't do that, they had to scramble to find police to work overtime for the event. Or, you could just not bill her. I understand if you want someone to keep the peace, supposedly keep the peace. But, hey. But Gill says she did not want to meet in person over coronavirus concerns, and her offer for a virtual meeting with officials was rejected. She also alleges that city officials stopped responding to her communications, and she still hasn't heard from the mayor after also reaching out to him about the bill. Gill said that only 30 to 40 people joined the rally, which was peaceful and caused no disturbances. Then your protests kind of suck. You're supposed to cause disturbances. I'm a little... That's a little salty, but still, your cause is just. I will say this. She says protesters also picked up their trash. Which, good.
Yay!
She told the outlet she also reached out to the local police chief about the overtime bill. The police chief, William Hinkleman, responded that he had complained to the mayor of the additional staffing needed and extensive preparation. Bitch, it's a peaceful protest. All you need out there is your standard issue utility belt. That's all you need.
What, were they preparing, like, the fucking riot shields or something?
What? Were you going to take a page out of the Portland Police Bureau? Is that what you wanted to do, Chief? Because fuck you.
Probably. Good God.
Kranjak told New Jersey Advanced Media that protesters' First Amendment rights were fully respected by the city and police, but slammed Gill over her comments on affordable housing. Oh, I'm going to try a Jersey accent. Miss Gill is misinformed, and she links our affordable housing issues with her protest, and she is wrong when she writes that I voted against affordable housing, the mayor told publication. Everyone is welcome in Englewood Cliffs. Probably the worst Jersey accent, but I hope my point gets across. Here's the thing. Here's how Black Lives Matter and affordable housing are linked. Not can be linked, are linked. Think of slums. Think of like poor neighborhoods. What is the first kind of person you think of, like in terms of skin color? Like,
Yeah.
odds are it's going to be a black person. Odds are, or some other minority. You'll see white people there, sure, but it's mostly, and having been around and in and around poor sections of several cities, that holds true. It's usually minorities that have to live in these areas, that can't afford to live in these so-called nicer neighborhoods. That's even true for here in Graceville. So, to say, like I said a little bit ago, to say that everybody is welcome, you can say that all you want. Hell, the signs on our the thing on our signs just coming in and out of town say where the living is easy. For years I have thought, okay, easy for who? Easy for those who have businesses here? Easy for those who already had money or was able to make money doing this? Is it only for white people? Is it only for rich white people? Or is it literally for everybody? Because I'm willing to bet, and I've seen some like the Section 8 housing around here, while they're not horrible, the people who live there, not always happy. So, you could have better quality of life. And if you are voting against, now I don't know the mayor's actual voting record. I'm going to err on the side of the protesters, because even if the mayor voted against it, he could have done more. He's the fucking mayor. But hey, affordable housing for black people, they are intertwined. Because that is a way that white people fuck over everybody else. Especially rich white people. Because they don't want certain people around them. So instead of them moving elsewhere, like they should, they decide, oh, I am entitled to this area, so I am going to make everybody else leave. No.
Yep.
And that's why we have these problems.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Michelle? We'll start with you on this one.
Well, I hope is it ACLU?
In this case, it's the New Jersey Advanced Media. But ACLU could get involved. Possibly, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I hope they have or are planning to. Failing that, if she has to pay for her legal fees independently, I hope she gets a Kickstarter or GoFundMe or whatever, and that actually makes twice, if not quadruple or 10 times the amount they're asking for, because that would just be hilarious.
Yeah.
Good for her, good for them, for being peaceful and tidy and just turning up, doing their thing, doing their chanting, their singing, whatever it is they did, picking up their shit and then going again.
Yeah.
I mean, not to sort of take a side, but I guess I can sort of see, we like to know if things going to happen because we might need to move some shifts around. That's still on you to make sure the people are there, especially if she has tried to say, hey, look, I'm doing a thing, it'll be here and here, this time and place. You have the information, Skype me or Zoom or whatever officials are using these days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to talk, just not over the face-to-face, because of the COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, What's Section 8 housing? I don't understand
It's
what that
basically
means.
Section 8 is basically housing that you get through help with. It's like low income housing, basically.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just basically what it is. And you have to actually,
'Cause-
have to prove you don't make a lot, and you get help moving in there.
Yeah.
Because I think I might have mentioned this before, like way back when, but in the UK it's like council or like social housing. So there's housing associations, and then you either buy or you rent privately, which is usually going to cost a lot more. But the getting onto the like how we got the flat is like my partner was already on the list. I couldn't be on the list because I was out of town for a while, so you'd have to be living in that town for a certain amount of time before you can get onto the list, and then you accrue points through various means. I mean, we moved about 20 years ago, so I don't know if it's still the same or has changed or whatever.
Yeah,
We lived in short hold tenancy for a little while, which is like because it was a private rent, and then my going onto his list got us a boost. If he'd still been doing it on his own, I don't know how much longer it would have taken to get the points. And then you get your flat, you could get a house if you've got the children, you can get an upgrade, but there's no stigma attached to it. I get the impression, the feeling that you're either in the States, you're either a homeowner or you're a loser. Basically, that seems to be the connotation.
yeah, that's mostly what it is.
Yep.
Also, another thought when you were doing your jersey, have you ever seen the going back to Michael J. Fox, the film Life with Mikey?
I don't think I have. If I have, it's only been in pieces, and it was a very long time ago.
He basically plays an acting agent for child actors, and he finds this kid, and like she's like got like the star quality, and she's having trouble with the line like that she's supposed to read for this commercial, and she's got this great line that I've always loved. It's like, "I'm from New Jersey. You like I can speak English."
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, Scully, do you have any particular thoughts?
Really, calling the cops on someone. Okay. So basically, the mayor called the cops on them, and then it's like, oh yeah, well you gotta pay for the cops' overtime because I called the cops on you. Like,
From well, the way it seems like it's the cops were sent out to because it was a protest. I think sounds like it's standard procedure, but he's still
Yeah, I
billing
think
her
so.
for that standard procedure.
yeah, that's some
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, regardless of how they got there, she should not be billed for it.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's pretty standard here. Like if something's occurring, there will be some police just to keep the peace, to see if anyone needs help or assistance. Like if something does break out, they can be there to de-escalate, because that's what our police actually do and what you're supposed to do. So it's there to have them. I think there might be some liability involved as well. Like you need somebody who can take charge if need be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still billing her for.
Oh god, yeah, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is,
it is.
that's some bullshit. And
Yeah,
I hope she doesn't pay. I don't care I don't
Yes.
care what they threaten her with. I'd say don't pay. Fuck them.
Yeah.
That's a good protest for you right there.
Uh-huh.
There's a good
Yep.
protest. And also on a side note, speaking of mayors, apparently, I think it was like last night, like the 31st of August, was Ted Wheeler, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler's birthday. And Mel texted
right.
me, you know what? You should have your mayor call him up and tell him, happy, go fuck yourself. I don't think my dad would have, but that's a good thought, though.
Yeah.
So our next news story is out of Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Speaking of large sums of money, Thomas Fowling woke up one day to find $150,000 in his bank account. How he reacted was impressive. Clickbait!
Oh boy.
And considering I'm reading this article, it worked. Actually, that wasn't even the title. That's just the first paragraph.
Yeah.
73-year-old front desk clerk from Minnesota realized the cash was Paycheck Protection Program money, and since he didn't own a business, he was stunned when it was given to him. For 2 weeks, he waited for the Sunrise Bank to find the error and take the money back. When they didn't, he reached out to make it right. Thomas explains, I eventually reached out to them. Someone was expecting that money. A small business could have gone out of business if I hadn't turned it in. When asked if he thought about keeping the money, he joked that he'd thought about heading to Mexico for a while. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like this. You have a bank overdraft, a bank thing in your favor, and you suddenly get $150,000. Okay. 9 times out of 10, I would say bank's fault, fuck the bank. Fuck it. They can deal with it. You know what? We deal enough with having less money nowadays. If you fuck up, that's on you. You are going to have to go to whoever you mistakenly did the thing with and explain to them, hey, some poor fucker accidentally got it, and maybe the bank could pay that out of pocket. Just a little bit. Most banks could afford that. Most of them could.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where the line is drawn here, though, is where is like I said here, was for the Paycheck Protection Program, which again, that's another thing where there's also a line, because that $150,000, considering it's $150,000, it's probably legitimately going to a small business. Legitimately, because I know under Trump, those don't always go to businesses that need it. Some go to businesses that really don't need it. So, but considering it's $150,000, I would err on the side of this probably legitimately is going to a small business. So I would do one of two things. I would do what he does, and talk to the bank and let them know. Or I would take that money, go find out who it was supposed to go to, and give it to them directly. And if the bank wants to say anything, say, ha, no, I fucked up your mistake. You can either fuck off now, or we can join up and we can sue the fuck out of you. Which one is cheaper for you, buddy?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Because the person who meant to get the money got the money.
Yep.
And it was the bank's fault. And that's assuming you know who it is. And you can find out who it is. But considering it was likely supposed to go to a small business, dude did the right thing. So, points for him.
Yep.
But in most other situations, bank fucked up? Nope. You ain't getting it back. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's like if I looked at it and all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, there's like $3,000 in there that was not originally meant to go there for whatever reason. I'd be like, yeah, sorry, Chase. Take out some money. Take out like $1,000. Do the things there in cash. And if they're like, oh, you need to pay back. No, I don't. It's your fuck up. You pay whoever it was. That's your fuck up, not mine.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we'll take you to court. You really want to spend that money? You really want to spend it? You'd be, you'd be spending more for the lawyers than you would just giving the person that's supposed to have the $3,000 that extra $3,000. Isn't that what bank insurance is for anyway?
Yeah, probably.
So yeah. Damn. So Scully, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I probably would have tried to find out who it goes to, and just alert the bank and say, hey, this money wasn't supposed to go to me, because there might, if I wouldn't want like a small business to go under just because of that kind of mistake. But if it's I don't know, Amazon getting bailed out or something, I'd be like, that's my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle?
Good for him. Yeah, he did the right thing. If it were me, I would be first of all, yay, but then, and then investigate. I would move that money to a high interest savings account.
There you go.
Whilst still working out where it's supposed to go, with every intention of giving the original money back.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the bank's either said or I found out who it's from, take the original sum and keep the interest.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Because putting it in the savings account means you're less likely to accidentally spend it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Or if you want to be really wild with it, put it into the stocks.
But then you risk losing it.
That's true.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah. But then again, if you put enough into a stock, its value will probably go up exponentially. Like if you put like 150,000 into a penny stock, they'll be like, "Oh shit, that's gonna just like that'll jump up a bit." But yeah. So our next news story. Oh, so y'all remember the school scandal, the college scandal, or whatever, where Lori Loughlin and her husband were like trying to they were trying to get their daughters into college, through bribery and everything. Well, their fates have been decided. After a federal judge sentenced the actress and her husband to 2 and 5 months behind bars, respectively, for the role in the college admissions scandal, source tells E! News that the couple and their daughters are distraught over what the future holds. I'm going to bet right now, and this may be also because I've read the story before, but I'm willing to bet the daughters will be fine.
Yeah.
The couple, the reason why they're not fine is because they have to pay consequences to their actions. Oh no. And 2 and 5 months behind bars, really? That's it?
Yep.
No.
Cry more.
No. So they are terrified about going to jail, the insider reveals, noting that the couple's fear stems from the ongoing spread of COVID-19 within the prison systems. Okay. That actually is valid. Credit where it's due. That is actually valid. Because, we take so good care of our prisoners. I know a lot of people are like, "Whoa, you go to prison, you get 3 squares a day." Yeah, under shit conditions.
Yeah.
At least if you're outside and you're homeless, yeah, it's harder to get food because not a lot of people can or would take pity on you, or if you want to call it pity, or anything else like that. Yeah, it might be more difficult, but at the very least, you have the chance to get into a better situation. In prison, not so much. So, yeah, at least if you're on the outside, you have the chance to go see your loved ones whenever you want, as long as you've got the means. In prison, it doesn't matter if you got the means. So, it's not yet known where Lori and Massimo will complete their time behind bars, with a second source noting, "Nothing has been decided about where they are serving. That's up to the government to determine." Despite such uncertainties, E! News is told the Full House star and fashion designer have requested to serve their sentences at different times, citing concerns over daughters Bella, who is 21, and Olivia, who is 20. Let me repeat that. Bella is 21, Olivia is 20. The first source says they don't want to have any overlap and leave the girls on their own. They are adults. They are daughters of rich people. They will be fine. They will be okay financially. Maybe, and if there's any sort of, distraught, if they're any sort of distraught over any of this, it might be because, oh my God, Mom, what the fuck is wrong with you? At least I hope that's what it is. I would like to think higher of these two, especially since one of them was like trying to become a social media influencer and maybe didn't really want to go to college in the first place. So if I don't think the article states one way or the other on the college point, but I know one of them is a social media influencer. They are trying to work out a way that one of them can be in LA with the girls while the other is serving their sentence, the insider explains, adding that the former University of Southern California students are worried about their parents and hate to see them so upset. They're covering their asses. Of course, they're not going to go on television or anywhere else and say, "Nah, my parents were dicks." I might, if my parents actually were, but that's me. I don't expect everybody else to be me. And if the shoe was on the other foot, I would hope they would do the same, even if it hurts me. So, brute honesty is what I'm getting at. Everyone is on edge and just trying to hold it together and stay strong, the source shares. It's less than half a year in prison. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Social media influencer Olivia and her older sister have said very little publicly about their parents' legal woes. However, a separate source recently told E! News that they've been behind them every step of the way. how much of these words are being put in their mouths, I wonder. Family is staying strong and positive and looking forward to putting this behind them, the source shared.
Why not?
In May, Lori and Massimo pleaded guilty to multiple counts of wire and mail fraud. Prosecutors accused the pair of fraudulently securing their daughter's admissions to the private university by claiming they were recruits for the USC's crew team. During last Friday's sentencing, and last Friday being not the... Yeah, 2 Fridays from where we are now.
Where did you get that from?
We've got... the Lori told the judge, "I thought I was acting out of love and my children, but in reality, it only underlined and diminished my daughter's abilities and accomplishments. More broadly and more importantly, I now understand that my decision helped exacerbate existing inequalities in society generally and the higher education system more specifically."
Yeah.
So, you know, Lori Laughlin, if you are listening, and I really hope you are. See, I grew up with Full House. I love the show. For all of its faults, for all of the stuff that hasn't aged particularly well, I love it. And her character was one of my favorites. Incidentally, her character is named Becky. I sense a pattern. But she was among the favorites, you know? And I remember the episode where her character had relatives come in from out of town, hoity-toity, rich-type characters that were bragging that their child or children, I don't remember how many there were involved on that end, were going to this elite school. And it ended up having Jesse, you know, want to put their twins into their own elite school and lie about things like that there. And I remember Becky, as in the character Becky, coming to the conclusion, like, dude, like, they're fine the way they are. You don't need to put them in some elite school. They'll be good in just regular public school. It's okay.
Yeah.
They will be fine. Granted, this was also the 90s, so putting them in public school now may not be the best. But still, the point was, kids don't need some elite school to thrive and learn and grow. I mean, hell, their daughter Olivia is a social media influencer. She doesn't need it, especially if she doesn't want it. Again, the article doesn't say one way or the other, but I think I heard a rumor that Olivia did not necessarily want to, you know, she didn't necessarily want to go to college, or at least not that one. So,
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's like, it's clear that Lori either didn't learn or outright forgot those lessons from that episode. You know, which for all the shit Full House gets, they do have some good lessons that, you know, you should take to heart, and that's one of them. It's like, you know, money does not, you know, the best schools, the best money, yeah, they're fine if you can afford them, but if you can't, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. You know? And apparently she didn't take that to heart. And now look where she is. So, you know, COVID aside, fuck them, jail. At the same time, for more than 5 months. Fuck you, jail. Your daughters are old enough, they're grown, and they have mommy and daddy's money to play with too.
Yeah.
So, y'all ain't Poe. You're just not Poe.
No.
Or at least not Poe enough for them to have to worry. They'll be fine. And again, Olivia's a social media influencer. They may not make the most, but that if you're a social media influencer, you're making at least enough to survive, I think. At least in most cases. So, and hey, I could be wrong on that. In terms of like social media influencer income. Because, hey, somebody could call me one and yeah, the amount of money I make from that is clear on my Patreon page.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Michelle, let's start with you on this one.
I first moved out when I was about 20.
Mm-hmm.
I had my 21st birthday whilst I was, you know, there. I had to move back home, and, you know, various reasons and circumstance.
Yeah.
You know what I could do? I could make myself meals. I could clean up and look after myself. I was in a shared house, and because I was working at a hotel, any working day, the chef would prepare a meal for us. Any given day we were working like a longer shift. But yeah, the rest of the meals we took care of ourselves, and I was able to do that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the privilege that they did. So that's if they can't. I think the general rule of thumb, and this sort of goes, this is definitely dependent on the kid and whatever, but if they're old enough to look, to see over the top of the hob, and they're strong enough to hold a pan, they can probably cook simple meals for themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As long as they have the strength and you see what they're doing, and not going to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Let them learn. Even if it's just I'm putting a bit of bread in the toaster to make the bread warm, and then slathering whatever flavouring I can find on it. That's still sufficient enough.
Yeah.
For a kid of assumed young age, that's quite sufficient. They're learning.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, and I mentioned this last week, was that I don't know what courses they were going for or trying to get them onto.
Yeah.
Just because they got on the course doesn't mean to say they would be able to pass or even survive in the course. I'm pretty certain mostly the higher end competitive type courses, career type things, have burnout classes where they expect most of you to fail because you may have passion, you may have some smarts, but you haven't got quite what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And you're not going to survive. So the fail rate on certain classes are built in.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if the girls had gotten away with it, and they'd not had all the controversy come up, and they had gone into the school.
Mm-hmm.
If they would even passed or survived or got on well with it. Higher education isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
And the other part, and this this is very white collar,
right?
And that it's whatever. Like lots of people are going to be in the same situation, but it does mean that they're going to be away from them for like Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that stuff, which kind of sucks. But again, how many other people within the system, rightly or wrongly, are also going through that, or are also going to be separated from their families during like occasions.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, one of those where it's like, yeah, we understand that, but I understand that the board has made a good point on that, but we've elected to ignore it because they deserve to receive justice just like anybody else. And if that justice means they're away from their families for Christmas or what have you, then so be it. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't have done the thing in the first place.
If your kid can't take care of themselves at age 20, you've done something wrong.
Yeah. And hell, even I could at age 20. And I'll be honest, I am not the best housekeeper. I don't cook elaborate meals or anything. Hell, most of the time I just either go eat something out or I cook something relatively simple, depending on money or whatever. And at age 20, I was part of the Disney College program for most of that year. So, and there were a lot of nights where I just ate ramen. A lot of ramen nights there. So, but I could still manage that. Even though it was like $80 a week. Granted, a lot, and that was because most of the rest of the paycheck was taken out automatically for their rent and everything, because they provide the place there. So, yeah, but yeah, it's like, but I could still manage it, even at 20, even my shit self there. So yeah, Scully, what do you have to say about all this?
I think y'all about covered it. They can take care of themselves. They're like 20, 21.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
might even get,
yeah. And
might even flourish under it.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, they might blossom. They might actually learn new strengths.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I hope they do.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what Mummy and Daddy are afraid of.
Oh.
Sorry, that just occurred to me. It may not even be the case, but it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah. But yeah, to reiterate one last time, COVID aside, throw them in. You know,
Yeah.
their fears about COVID are justified. I can give them that much, but beyond that, no, fuck them. Fuck you, jail. Just our last news story comes out of Oklahoma City with a 500-gallon tank.
Ooh.
And if you get that reference, good on you. The Oklahoma City Police Department responded to a Taco Bell Saturday night just before 9 p.m. in reference to a call about a man going through the drive-thru naked.
Oh, God.
According to police reports, Christopher Sale, 61, was in his vehicle in the drive-thru completely naked. Sale paid for his order at the restaurant and then reportedly asked the employees to go for an additional taco, like you do. One of the employees was not comfortable with this, no shit, and another employee gave him the additional taco when he then asked for more sauce, still not leaving the drive-thru. Yeah, he then asked for more napkins after receiving the sauce, and then eventually left the drive-thru, only to come back and ask for more sauce for his food. When police were able to detain Sale, he told them that he was hungry and that all of his clothes were in the washer. He also stated to the police that he didn't know it was against the law to drive naked. Dude, you're 61. If you don't know that, you either have you're either getting into Alzheimer's or dementia territory, or you're just that stupid.
Okay. I didn't, but I'm British and a non-driver. I don't know if that's a law in our books.
I mean, I think it would fall under indecent exposure technically.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah, maybe.
under that, technically, it would be. But
You could tuck.
yeah, I could technically, and even though it is illegal, I kind of think it's bullshit that it is illegal to just walk around naked, because especially in places like Florida. Oh my God. Yeah, I know somebody will be like, well, there are things people don't want to see, and what about this people? And you know what? That's when you go after the people who are doing the offenses and you beat the shit out of them. You know, there's gonna be a lot of guys with boners walking around. It's like, yeah, because boners have their own. Our dicks are not fully attached to our brains. They're attached in so much as the brain, as the sensations and everything there, but. We do not, and Scully, I think you could back me up on this. We cannot tell our brains to go hard on a snap most of the time. We just can't do that. So, what was my point? My point, naked, nudity, public nudity. I think it should be,
Yeah.
That's just the way it should be, at least as an option. Because obviously, there are places like, you don't want to be walking around in, like, Alaska in the winter. You don't want to do that. So, obviously.
I don't necessarily think you want to walk around Alaska in the summer. I don't think they get much warmth.
Yeah.
I may be wrong. If any Alaskans, please write the show.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, clothing optional is what it should be. You shouldn't have to one way or the other. But there's sexualized parts out there. It's like, you know what? If you sexualize something, that's on you. That's in your brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
As could be obvious, I sexualize breasts and asses a lot. Okay?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be allowed to walk around naked because of me. And if I make a big deal of it, that's on me. That's not your fault. That's my fault.
Our circle seems to really like thick thighs. I don't get it. But there seems to be a lot of people that post that kind of artwork.
Yeah, I think it's obvious that I like thick thighs. Yeah.
And I'm not judging, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Hey, thick thighs are nice. The thickness is nice.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not that I'm not also attracted to other body types, but, it seems to be where I'm at most of the time. I think 75% of the women I am attracted to are thick, but
Yeah.
that's also an obvious thing, and I have no problem sharing that.
But would you admit that is a subjective, personal, this thing does it for me?
Yeah, definitely.
So you are the one sexualizing it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you're going to sexualize what you're going to sexualize. Hell, people sexualize Pokemon. And not just the looking ones either. I mean, hell, people sexualize my favorite Pokemon. And that's just...
Umbreon.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Becky explained it as such because Umbreon has a similar design to, I think, the little cat character from Sailor Moon. I think it's I think that's the one she was referring to. But yeah,
I've seen pictures, but I've not seen Sailor Moon, so I couldn't tell you the name of it.
yeah. You would think I would know more than what I do because throughout a lot of my adult life, I have been around at least one person who is really big into Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
You would think I would know more, but probably should. I probably should check it out at some point. Like give it a good solid shake.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for this guy, we got way off top. We were way over there. The road is over here. We're over here in the woods, over here on the side.
Hang on, let me just check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today ending in Y. We're all right.
Yeah. But as the way it is now, it's like, yeah, you are making them a little uncomfortable. And until we can reach a point to where we can all be comfortable serving people who are naked. And I don't even think the dude was just trying to do anything or get his rocks off. He's just, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm naked. Let's go get food. It's probably as innocent as all that, you know. But
You could make the argument of like if your clothes are in the laundry, a towel, a blanket,
yeah,
pillowcase.
something. You can do something. But but until we reach that point where we can be comfortable walking in public naked, you know, at least for the sake of Joe or Jane on the street, you know, we could do something to make them less, you know, make them a little bit more comfortable serving you. So, you know, because we haven't reached that point yet. Got to deal with what we've got.
Yeah.
So Scully, we will start with you on this one. Do you have any thoughts?
Really? How would you not know that that's illegal? And also, like, if his stuff was really in the laundry, he could have either waited or, you know, worn like a towel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like he was like starving to death. He was just real hungry. I mean, I could wait an extra hour or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Or at the very least, drink some water. That'll help settle it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Bless you.
Yes. So, Michelle, what do you have to say about this story in particular? Not everything else we went off on.
Like I said, I am not aware of it as a law, but I'm not a driver. But
Yeah.
like you say, indecent exposure laws, fair enough, we probably have got something like that. But because I'm not aware of it doesn't mean to say that this dude who presumably has been living there all of, if not most of his life, like, now, I think England is pretty much blanket with our rules and laws. But if you're moving definitely state to state, I think look into the local law, like
Yeah.
double check.
Yeah, and if nothing
That's
else,
the sort of thing you should. Yeah.
yeah, and if nothing else, err on the side of caution.
On the other hand, good for him. Like, maybe you should have grabbed a towel, dude, but whatever. Like, for all we know, he could have been tucked. He could have been, like, you know, as discreet as possible. Maybe the belt was adjusted just so. And then, I don't want to say, like, blame the cashiers or whatever, but,
Yeah.
you know, he was just doing him. Maybe he didn't realise as much of him was exposed as he thought. You know, that he didn't realise it was as much could be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was in the car, like, he thought the door may be covered up enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking about it, I've never actually been to a drive-in, but from what I've seen, like, the window's relatively high, like, at least waist height, possibly a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you got the height of the door.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the distance of the counter. I think you have to be really looking to notice anything.
Well, I mean,
Like, if it was a woman, maybe you could see a bit more, but for a guy...
oh, well, if I'm thinking right, it's Taco Bell. Odds are if he's in, like, in a just regular car, you're kind of looking down a little bit. You know, you're angled looking down so you can see more.
No, fair enough.
But yeah. So with that, we are going to get out of here. Oh, God, another long one. I'm looking at the timer, and it's definitely a longer one.
Yeah.
How close to 2 hours are we getting this time? Let's find out. Well, you guys already know because you can see the time as you start up the episode.
I can't because my mouse has gone to sleep again.
Yeah. But
Woo! There you go.
But yeah, so we will go ahead and get out of here. Scully, if we wanted to find you on the social media, where could we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Scolipendra and on Tumblr at Scolipendra91.
Chris.
Sweet.
Okay.
And Michelle, if we wanted to find you on social media, where could we find you?
Yes, I have a link tree at whatever the LA link tr.ee/Phoenix11 PHEONIX11.
Sweet. And as for me, you can find my link tree down there, linktr.ee/Gomer21XX. Got links to everything. To like Twitter, Tumblr, Patreon, YouTube, Twitch. I need to get back into streaming. I kind of ended up taking off a week and a week and another extra day. Kind of. I did make an appearance on Rosen and Miss Nightmare streams last night where we played Fall Guys, and I actually won. I actually won for once. Holy shit. So yeah. That was all good and fun. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever, you see the artwork. That is done by the beautiful and talented Becky Hopkins, whose card is also in the doobly-doo. And higher up, now that I've done a little bit with the doobly-doo. So instead of, you can just click that, you can see her other work, you can go and commission her. I highly recommend you do. And of course, the lovely voice you hear at the beginning of the show is Mel Paradise, who is another really, really talented artist. She does pixels, she does masks. She's, at the time of this recording, she's having to wait for a part on her sewing machine, so the masks are delayed a little bit. But she is doing pixels, she is doing other artsy things. And if you're a local in Portland, Oregon, you can see her every Saturday, at least through the season, at the Portland Saturday Market, selling her wares, go and buy stuff from her, give her monies and foods. And both of them also have Patreons as well. I don't know if Becky's is in her card, but I know Mel's, I believe, is just patreon.com/melparadise. If you want to just support them and you don't know what you want to get, but you want to support them, you can just throw money at them and there you go. Because I know neither of them really push it very much. But yeah, so with that, again, thank you guys for listening. I know it's another long one. And until next time, this is Gomer, the Ranting Thespian, with Scolipendra and Michelle, signing off.
Wakanda forever.
Later.